What's going on, everyone? We've got our radiator painted around the outside, just the silver to match the shell. We've got all of the parts painted for the faceplate, eject button there, or sync button. Didn't actually secure everything in place, just want to see what it looks like. And then of course we have the yellow bezel, which I already put on the DVD drive. The clear coat on the side panels. And I painted this fan tunnel, metallic black. For this guy over here, we made that custom double fan shroud, but we're going to go back to the regular GPU heatsink because of our fan problem. We had these ones here, the OK gear in there, and we were hoping to replace them with the Ace fans, and they sent me more OK gear fans instead, and now we're stuck here. So we're probably going to be using this fan. I might try this one. I don't remember if it lights up green or white. If it's green, I don't want that. We want mostly red on this side, and we should have not plenty of room, but just enough room to put the large fan, on top of that heatsink, but still have room above it to where we put our hard drive on the inside, because obviously we don't have the hard drive up top on this one. It's going into the inside. And for that grill opening on the front, I think I'm just going to take this fan out of this one. We'll use that one. Oh, it fell inside. After we do those, I'm going to take this listing down, take it apart, start cutting this. We're going to open this guy up, start cutting some of this stuff. Alright, we got to take the motherboard back out so we can replace the heatsink. I do have a plan for this double one here. We'll use in another build. Let's see, our hard drive cable goes to the inside. Off of the DVD drive cable, we also have these flashing red and blue lights. That's for the car we have on top. Move our custom fan shroud. New heatsinks installed. Oh my god, did I just put an aluminum heatsink on a Zephyr GPU? Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Right off the bat, it's going to be really difficult to fit a 140. And I kind of already planned on using this one. This is a 120. It's got the LEDs that go all the way around the inside of the frame instead of just like the 4 in the corners. But with this, we should still have plenty of room to get this mounted. We'll still be able to have the wires coming in through here and have enough room for the hard drive to sit right over here in the back corner where we had it originally. And that should actually get some airflow from the fan because it's obviously going to cover part of it here. So let me get some brackets to mount this to the side. Start getting the wires in. My stomach's growling, I'm hungry, and I need to take the other one apart to get that 60mm noise blocker we're going to put right here. So yeah, I think we're going to be fine temperature-wise. And I don't know if I mentioned, this is obviously a serviced Zephyr. One, we've got the skinnier capacitors all the way around. It also has a RIA 3rd gen GPU, 003 RIA chip. And this thing's definitely been put through its paces. It's a very solid board. Okay, we got this fan here. And if you want to do this, it's very simple. If you have a modded system and you just don't want your disk drive in there, you'd rather have some more cooling, you can squeeze a 140 in there, but if you're keeping all the other stuff, best bet, 120mm fan, any one you want. All you need is some L brackets here, and then you have plenty of holes to choose from. Choose different wording there, but all you need is some screws and some nuts for the holes, and you can kind of mount it wherever you want, around here, higher, lower. Plug it in. If you're getting rid of your disk drive, just use your disk drive cable. You can plug it in 5 volts or 12 volts if you want. Now, this one's already been cut off here, and I also cut this situation off of this whole fan setup. And basically we have 3 different connection points here going to one 3-pin. So we're going to wire that to this fan here. We have extra stuff here that we can use for LEDs. So I'm going to hook this fan up to the large one. This one here is already on a 3-pin, and we already have a 3-pin splitter coming off of 12 volts over here on the board. So we'll just plug one fan into one 3-pin. We'll plug this one into the other 3-pin, which will power the fan, and whatever other LEDs we set up, which I do want to get a strip, just like on Vader, to go along the back side to light up the back. Obviously we've got that painted. I'm still going to add the wording for the blacklist on there, which I still need to get a marker to do that and some scratch paper to just practice. Even if I can get it good, obviously the backside of this is definitely not smooth, so it's going to be kind of difficult, but luckily the blacklist is written in chalk with just clearly handwriting in the game, so it shouldn't have to be perfect. We've got the clear blue XCM panel that's going on the backside, so you can see all that through it, and I want that white LED strip so you can kind of light that up a little bit. And on the inside, I think we're going to add some of the red LED strip. We already have some on a 3-pin, which is nice. Although, I guess if we're going to be wiring it into this, it doesn't matter, we'll have to cut it anyway. And then this fan here, we've already got some adhesive. These things weigh nothing, so this strong 3M adhesive is going to be perfect. And we need it to be about 1/4 to 1/2 inch off center from the ring of light board. And we'll just get it as high up as possible right here, and that's going to line up perfectly. Maybe not perfectly, but it's going to pretty much line up with that hole that somebody decided to cut in an XCM chameleon shell. And I guess if this is the first video you're seeing of mine, no, that doesn't mean I did it. This is how we got it in horrible shape. We had to clean up this and repaint the whole thing, and I think it turned out awesome. I love this paint. This fan is in place. I'd be comfortable picking up the whole system from that. We've got this one bolted in place. We can see down here, maybe, not really. But it's hovering slightly above the heat sink, so we don't actually have, just plastic resting on the hot metal. But we should have just enough room to get our hard drive, and I originally had a 120 in here when we were building it. It's currently in my personal Xbox 360, which will probably be for a client build. I'm just still using it to finish filming Need for Speed Most Wanted. So anyway, what we have here is a 250 gigabyte hard drive we're going to put internally. You can see, again, the holes on the side. We've got a couple mounting holes on the side. Not all hard drives have those, but this one does. This is a, Seagate. And if we just use the top holes to mount it and plug it in there, again, it will hover slightly above our mounting point. Now we can also, if we needed to, flip these L brackets around and bolt it from the bottom into the side, so it kind of goes down and over instead of up and over. But I think we're going to have enough room. We should be fine. It's going to be right here, and we've got maybe that much space. And there we go. Just put a little painter's tape over those extra wires from that cable, custom cable thing. Got our hard drive in. I did put a little bit of the non-conductive tape over that one mount just to make sure in case it rubs against that. And now we're pretty much to a point, well, one, we can at least plug it in and test it out. Two, I'm going to need a all-white RF board, which I originally had for this build, but I used it for something else. And then, like I said, just the detail on the back side. And we've already got some LEDs that are pretty much wired up already, so I'll just need to splice them into that. But let's test it out the way it is and see what we're working with. I think there's already going to be a pretty big eyesore that you can see through the X on the shell, and that's this right here. I think a pretty easy fix is just maybe the top piece of a hard drive shell for a slim, and we can just kind of set it right over top of that. Alright, mistakes. We can't put in this case screw because of that bracket. It's almost next to it, so I think we need to move this over just one of those holes, and because the hard drive is as high up as it possibly can to fit over that bracket, the one case screw peg on this side, which we can just kind of sand down because it's going to be blocked by the hard drive anyway, it doesn't quite allow it to sit all the way down, so I think I'm just going to take that bracket and, like I said, just flip it upside down so that it's an L shape instead of a R shape, I guess. Other than that, I think we're good to test it out. We'll have to see what that looks like. Not a huge fan of that corner piece there on the fan showing, but I don't know, it's not that much of a problem. And we only have a tiny bit of the hard drive showing over there, so maybe it won't be that bad. Let's plug it in real quick, and we're at a point with this one, like I said, besides the RF board and me just figuring out how to write the stuff on the back side. We now need a window here. I didn't want to use regular plexi. I want to see if I still have blue or maybe red, but I think I'd rather have blue since the faceplate is all BMW and carbon fiber with the blue and white logo, so I'd rather have it blue. Okay, I was a little worried about the fans on the back, but I forgot I never actually cleared off this hard drive, and there's nothing really on it modded wise. So I think we had the fan set a little bit lower, and since it's on just OEM situation, it brought the fans back up to the normal speed. Let's open the tray. There is no tray. Pretty cool glow there. That does look really cool inside there, actually. So obviously we need some more light on the bottom, so I'm going to add the red LED strip in the bottom to kind of help illuminate the rest of that side, and then we'll use the white strip for the back of the system. Alright, got the storage device formatted so that's ready to get set up, and I think we're at a good point here. Got to get the other systems worked on into a point to where I can bring everything outside and kind of Dremel stuff at once. So for this one, we'll see if we can find the red or blue acrylic to cut to fill that hole there. Next up, time to take down this listing, because knowing me, I'll take it apart, start to sand something, and someone will buy it. Alright, we got this taped off. As I mentioned in the last video, and in the build video of this, we put tape straight down, and then this bottom window we just didn't cut all the way to the tape in some spots. See here, it just goes right up to the tape line here and some of those spots there. So we just retaped it the same way so we can cut this window out the rest of the way, and we're just going to go for a double clean window on this build. We've also got this taped off here, which is just the wheelbase of the car, same way I did the Suki build, so that the wheels will sit down but the bottom of the car will basically rest on the top of the hard drive, so it's not just sitting on top, it's kind of sunken in there a little bit. So now I just need to take these things apart so we can take them outside to cut. All taken apart here. I'm just going to set this upstairs. Same with the other Xboxes I've been taking apart. We're taking apart a lot, so there's parts everywhere. Took the window out of here, and we really only have to cut these two little strips on each side. And the bottom here, we're going to have to go ahead and remove our windows. I'll take the top one off real carefully because obviously that's not just cheap plexiglass. This is actual thick tinted acrylic, and we could definitely use that teal window for something else. Next up, R2D2, our water-cooled client build. Want to get the shell off, obviously take a look at the inside, and yeah, these shell parts are what we're going to start cutting out as well. At least this one, probably doing the ones on the back. I'm going to wait to do this one until we get our radiator mounted, or at least the holes drilled to where it's going to mount. So we can kind of map that out because it's going to partially block that window. And we should have a little bit of cutting to do on the actual metal frame, and that's going to get painted. So that's one thing I do want to get done right away. We're already losing sunlight. Did we already get a time change? Did that already happen? Alexa, when is daylight savings?
Daylight saving time was proposed in 1907 by Englishman William...
Alexa, what day does time fall back an hour?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, in the United States the clocks fall back one...
Let's see it on here. Oh, November 2nd. Oh wait, and we fall back an hour? So it's going to get dark at like 4:30? I made the mistake of trying to go to Ace before it closed, and they didn't have the heat shrink tubing I needed, which sucked. But anyway, I have this one cut out. We still have to do the metal file by hand to kind of shave it down. But I do think on this one I'm going to go with the black window trim on both of these. So it's just going to be all army green, black trim, everything on the outside matte black and green, and then the inside we'll just do all silver, and I don't know, maybe see if we can find like a chrome fan or something, because that Camaro is a twin turbo Camaro, and under the hood is lots of shininess. Same story with this one. Obviously the window is already cut, these little half circles on each end, but that's not really going to affect what we're doing. The car is going to cover that up. And I got that other one done before getting this fully apart because I didn't want to rush through it. Now everything else, which looks like we got a little bit of just stuff here and there. I think our metal shielding is pretty nasty like they normally are. These systems unfortunately are just getting older and older. But we're not using that shielding anyway. Just wanted to take my time taking this apart to just help visualize like tubing and stuff like that. Obviously reservoir up at the top, radiator. One thing I want to try to make a little easier is obviously the radiator we had facing inward on the last Star Wars water-cooled build. They went inside, and so as you put this top panel on, you had to like reach in and try to connect some tubing. And I don't think there's going to be a way around that this time, but we could try to make it a little easier. I kind of want a little bit of external tubing like we did on the water-cooled Halo 5 Xbox One. I forgot how much fun it is to take apart a Slim. Now check this out. Holy crap. Let's hope that that's the only thing like that, which I'm going to assume it is. I've never I've had ones that the whole thing had corrosion on it, but this is like under an old Ford. And there we go. Everything else in here looks pretty darn clean. There's just a little residue from this. And weirdly, looks like somebody modified this a little bit. Cut a little notch out there and a little notch out here for some reason. That's interesting. Still looking really good in here. Motherboard looks fantastic. Took the shroud off. We're not going to need this fan. We're not going to need the heat sink. And what's also nice about these boards, instead of having a speaker built in right here that's kind of tall, it's approximately where I'd put the pump, and that would kind of take away some space. But with these, you just have this short little connection that's no taller than these other little things here. And you can relocate this speaker, since the pump fans will be kind of up here like we did on the last one. And I believe I just kind of moved the speaker like to the front or side, something like that. Or if we need to, we can even extend the wires and just put it somewhere over here in this corner where we will probably have more room. Don't need this stuff. We'll bring that stuff upstairs, and the other parts we're not using for now, like the vents. Now these pieces, we're going to take the center part out, and I don't like that they put chrome trim on these. I really don't understand why they would do that, unless it came with white. I don't think it did. I think they came with chrome. I think this would look so much better with a matching blue to the accents on the shell. And obviously our top one has to get cut out quite a bit to fit the reservoir. Same thing with the top vent. On the other one, we literally cut like that end off and this end off, and we just didn't use the center because that was taken up by the reservoir, and we just clipped the front and the back in place just to give it a nice clean finished look. Got all the other parts out. We definitely don't need this. We're not going to need this. We don't need this, but we will probably keep it. We might be able to use it. One, it holds one of the case screws, helps it line up with the shell, and it could also just be a ledge to help hold something. I don't know, we'll see. Obviously we're keeping this. If we can modify it a little bit, we may have to cut off the case screw guide on this one just so it's shorter, because that kind of blocks this part right here, and we need tubes going out here, and we'll probably have the other one go over top just like last time, because there's enough room between the case and the frame for it to sneak through without getting in the way of the Wi-Fi antenna. Everything else is out of here. We just need to take these last screws off for the heatsink. I wanted to show how deep that copper piece in the center is. The other two that we put on the 360 Fat, both of those had the copper go all the way up flush with the aluminum part. So I don't know, why is that? Why are they all different? Even the two I had that were sort of flush, one was still a little bit lower than the other, and I feel like there's no two that are the same. I don't know. And it's a little nasty, but that's okay. We're not using it for this build. Got our motherboard. Ugh, some goop on that X clamp. Again, nothing on the motherboard. I feel like they just took other parts to put on here. You can see that as well. There's a little bit of that on the back side. But the motherboard itself looks great, so I'm not really worried about that other stuff. I do have two more metal frames, one that's actually already painted blue, although I think that one's for a 360E, and the stuff on the back is slightly different for that. but I definitely have another metal frame exactly like this one that doesn't have any weird stuff on it. We'll probably just start with that. Here is our RGH mod. Looks pretty clean. Now I remember this saying something about a spacer on the X-clamp, and it's literally a plastic washer they put on the center, I think to put some extra tension. But as you can see, there's, first of all, not the worst amount of thermal paste, but definitely more than needed. But you can see it's all just completely pushed out to the perimeter, and I feel like that's because of that spacer. Everything else still looks good. There's one little goop of something right there, just a little drop. Otherwise, everything else still looks good. That's where I'm going to stop with this one for now. Next time I'm going to clean off this motherboard, which shouldn't take long. Get our water block on, kind of figure out what fittings you want to put on it. The last one I had it facing this way, and we had these kind of loop around. This one looped all the way around. And before I do the windows, sort of changed my mind because I wanted to start cutting these out. But I think the best thing, at least on this side, we need to get the radiator and fan mounted first. We know exactly where that's going to sit. There's a lot of modification you got to do on that. It's kind of a pain, but want to make sure that looks nice and clean, and then we can go back, kind of cut these out. These got to be a little more precise. I don't think I want to cut in here. I think I just want to cut these inside pieces out. Except for this one. We'll probably still do that where we just cut here and keep that center piece, and just the outer part will be a window. That's also why I'm not worried about getting the clear blue hard drive shell. You're not really going to see it. That one came with a off-brand gloss black shell, and I thought about painting it white. We might paint it blue to match the other accents. You could see it through there, but I think white might be better. We'll probably at least start with white on that one. If we don't like it, we could paint it blue. And there's also just lots of other stuff to cut out besides the two side panels. Stuff on the metal frame here, at least on this side for tubing. So I'll get all that done at the same time. It has been a long day. I gotta go edit a bunch of stuff. This kind of works out. I was supposed to get fittings today for the Beta NXC water-cooled build, but they just shipped today. So thanks, Amazon. Read between the lines. They come in packs of 5 and 6 for the stuff I ordered for that one, and I won't need all of them, so I can use the leftovers to start mapping out this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to not like, comment, or subscribe. Check out the link in the description for the membership. Just 99 cents a month. We're going to have one of the builds we're starting soon will exclusively be on the members only channel. Obviously when it's done and ready for sale, we'll have a regular public video for that. By the time you're seeing this video, we probably already finished the drawing for the Halloween Xbox giveaway, but you could still join. We're going to give another Xbox away in November. Don't move, I gotta do the outro.